Yeah.
Yeah, man. I guess this is the director's commentary. It is I, Joe Mandic here, and I've got
Also, Jonathan Light.
Jonathan
Hello.
Light, my co-director. We worked on this film together, and we're gonna start now. So yeah, going into this, man, what were your thoughts about it? I guess.
Um, I was really excited actually.
Mm-hmm.
Without even having looked at the script too much, I was like I knew that we had learned some things from Sacrifice, and we were going to implement the things that we had learned into this one.
Yeah, man. I definitely. I have to thank my girlfriend Shannon and really everybody for helping out because I think one thing about Sacrifice is I had a lot of enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Until the ending when I started to get kind of frustrated. But I had a lot of enthusiasm. We did have a script that had been sitting around for years, and we could just kind of went in at the seat of our pants. This time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my time a little bit more, and I'm also going to kind of ask for more assistance. So I
Yeah.
was like, like maybe there are some things I don't know. Like some people have an extra pair of eyes. They might think this shot looks better. Let's see if we can make the color scheme better or the set a little bit better, and maybe tweak things here and there. Yeah. So that was me going into it. And I'm glad you helped out, man. I appreciate it. You actually helped out with, I think, most of the filming.
Um,
Like I think the only
for all of the nights that I was here, yeah.
yeah you always contributed to some stuff. Yeah. You
Yeah,
like
dude.
I heard some people really liked the opening here, which it's kind of one of those things where it was kind of a long cut, but I liked it. I think it worked.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I think your acting's pretty good. You seem to spend a lot of time very distraught in this one.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a step up from Catatonic.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I think your acting's pretty good for being an amateur, man. Maybe I did that unintentionally because I was like, you did spend most of the last movie unconscious.
Mhm.
So, but ironically, you were still kind of the main character, and the movie became about you towards the end. But this time, like, this time, let me actually give you something to do and not have you laying down
Yeah,
most of the
yeah.
time for filming. Yeah, definitely. Gotta like the armpit shots. I think
Oh,
they
yeah.
really a lot of conveying. But I did avoid less cross shots this time. There are one or two though.
Oh, saucy.
Saucy. The bad places. Let's see. We're coming up to finally. One more shot of you, and as you can see, the shoulder is center frame because it's
Yeah.
not trying to say that you have the weight of the world on that one shoulder.
Mm.
And I will say, as we're talking about this, man, some of the thing, some of the shots we did, I think, turned out really well intentionally.
Mm.
Some of them were by accident.
Yeah, yeah,
Some of them were totally
absolutely.
by accident.
Absolutely.
Um,
Like all of these, a lot of the straight lines aren't perpendicular, are not parallel with the horizon line.
no.
So it's kind of giving off like a Dutch angle
Yeah,
kind of
a
thing.
little
So
bit.
it's kind of building suspense.
And it is building some suspense. And I was trying to go for those blank shots establishing the atmosphere, which is pretty obvious. But I think the tripod might have been a little crooked. So that might
Yeah,
have been
yeah.
where some of the problems were. But once again, I think it kind of works, but it was sort of accidental.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We got Will there, his character and mine kind of establishing the plot. Something's been stolen. We're looking for somebody. The audio on that one's kind of iffy. I personally liked this. Like I really we had you shoot this scene once again with you laying down.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did this. I was saying how we actually did a lot of the scenes with you and Nick. Those nights we took quite a few takes, like 4 or 5 each. I think for each one, a lot of rundowns, and even you just being there. Missed that one. I got to fix that. I don't know why, but I really like that shot of with your arms crossed, kind of
Yeah.
creating that V.
It definitely helps to create some direction, some visual direction.
And it has something focused on for sure. And I mean, I think the imagery that we're conveying there is pretty obvious. You got you in the fetal position, kind of secluded. The audio for the phone came out really well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not
I
an
was
effect.
really
That's
surprised.
actually picked up from the mic or whatever we used. I had to blur out that because as we were watching on the big screen, it's obvious there was a
Yeah,
timer. That
yeah.
like, oh, well, he could have had a timer to wake up, but we're trying to convey that somebody's calling him. So
Yeah, yeah.
and you take your good time. They're picking up the phone. I definitely was going for a very artsy, surrealist thing. So I have a lot of long shots to build atmosphere, which was intentional.
And it's very jarring.
Well, yeah,
You know?
and I don't know if some people might like that, some not, but I like that, you know, if we're going mostly for mood, because I will admit the script is meant to be vague and light anyway. There are some cuts I do where I will have the music and I'll have some movement and some quicker cuts, and then the music will cut out, and it snaps you back, because if you get into this hypnotic daze with whatever you're watching, here's a little bit of plot for you.
Right.
And I don't know if that's how well that works, but if you think it's jarring in a good way or a bad way, or
I think it definitely helps.
you think it helps, because I know that there isn't, for those scenes, that there isn't much going on. I mean, you've got to have that, I guess, to maybe to wake you up a little if you get too nervous. There was kind of a fuck up here I noticed, where you're talking to somebody and you're like, you say that somebody, that your partner's coming for you, like he's out looking for you. Who are you talking to? We don't know.
Right.
You know, like that's one little thing I noticed, like once I was coming through and like, wait, we kept the line with him talking to somebody. I think you might have been talking to your partner, saying you were on the way, but like, I don't know, we missed that somehow. So he's talking to somebody, we don't know who. And I decided to kind of add a couple of these scenes a couple months later when I realized that at this point it really would just be a couple scenes with you and Nick, because we didn't get the scenes where Will and Nick's character met, which were kind of redundant anyway because it could just be explained. So at that point I was like, well, it would have really just been a couple of those scenes and then a couple action scenes and the movie's over.
Right.
Would have been a real short film. So I'm like, let me
Yeah.
add a little bit more. Let me have this other character who's the hitman, which is played by me, kind of on the run. And I don't know how much of this is implied. I think there's a little bit of symmetry in the characterization where the demonic mob boss character took something away from you, killed your girlfriend, significant other, and later on we're going to see that same thing happens to me, but we're on polar sides.
Right.
Now,
Right.
I mean, maybe if I had taken a little more time to flesh out the characters a bit more, that would have been more obvious, but I thought it still kind of worked.
Oh yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of. I remember, by the way, my scenes were, they were written, but a lot of the stuff from the screenplay was definitely ad-libbed, which I'm okay with. I think
Yeah,
I like going
yeah.
for a natural flow. I don't know why, but I like in whatever the scenes where I'm getting angry, I just channel Joe Pesci. Like I have a slight Jersey accent. I start cursing a lot more. I'm like, I guess my default mobster mode is just Goodfellas. I'm just like, dropping F-bombs. It's how you can tell that I'm not really thinking about the specifics of the lines, but I don't know. I think my acting's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I think my initial takeaway from this scene
yeah.
was just pure South Park.
What?
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Park? How?
yeah. Like with the line a few seconds ago, like "cut the bullshit."
Cut the
It's
bullshit.
like, dude, that's straight up just Eric Cartman.
Oh man, I'm assassin Eric Cartman.
Yeah, yeah.
I liked this shot.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, this is so much better in black and white.
Yeah. Actually, this is the one shot that Shannon basically shot the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we did like 2 takes, and the one time it wasn't planned, so Nick came out too early. I didn't have time to dub over Nick's lines, but I didn't think it was super necessary because we cut away, so you wouldn't hear what he was saying. So I'll admit I didn't do that there, but I like these shots. But you're right. I think the black and white helps a lot.
Oh yeah. It definitely helps to push that.
The noir kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. Like the only thing that this is missing is like a smoking cigarette in an
Some top
ashtray or
hats,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Like in the city, there's a woman, a man who longs for her. And that's one cut where I wanted to actually have Nick coming out of the door, but the one cut that happened, he like looked up and smiled. I'm like, while he was moving, there was no way to make that smoothly. I liked this transition because I don't know. I just like the fluidity of it. Okay, like coming up here, I'm proud of it because it's really basic, but the different perspectives, some ambient movies kicks in when we see that what's in the suitcase, close it, done, moves on. Like once again jarring, like it got all weird.
Yeah.
Like but sense that there might be something supernatural or strange. And do you think the surreal vibe works? Because I think even the fact that you guys have kind of a little bit of campiness, even Nick's like admittedly kind of deadpan delivery, even though I did try to direct him a bit more, it still kind of works.
Yeah,
it's a little
yeah.
weird. It fits with the whole weirdness of the movie, like you know. But it's like, oh, you know, they killed somebody. We're on the run. It's mild inconvenience.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you
I mean,
know.
you know. But in his defense, and Nick did work a lot on this movie, and
Yeah.
and as Jesse pointed out, most of the time when you guys came over, it was like after work when he retired. So,
Yeah.
like, you know, at the very least, we convey that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I did like the lower shot perspective.
Mm.
I thought it looked decent.
That was definitely good. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. If I stop talking, feel free to chime in. I mean, I know that with commentaries, you don't have to talk every second, but you know me. I know that. I've heard that obviously because my films are pretty rough. Some people really, and I'll admit, I really like talking about the filmmaking process and the memories of making it because, in all honesty, that's kind of the most fun part for me is, you know, getting together with my friends and them helping me out to make something. Because, you know, it was always one of my dreams to make films. And this was a scene, a little shot that everybody loved.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the visuals here of me being caught in the trees. That was kind of intentional. Like I was like, okay, that might look interesting. But I did not know it was going to be picked up as well as it was.
Right.
And everyone said that visually that might have been like the most interesting one. Pretty much accidental, like completely. But fine.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, as I was saying, man, yeah, I liked getting together and do that and talk about it.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
absolutely.
And some of my YouTube friends and subscribers have said, literally in some of their videos, that the behind the scenes stuff is more interesting than the actual movie. But you know, I'm okay with that because they're interested in the filmmaking process.
Right. And I think a lot of the times in the behind the scenes parts, especially for this movie in Sacrifice, and especially in Sacrifice,
you needed something. Like some people tell me they watched it 3 times and they're still not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Like I can see that.
But like when you get the behind the scenes things, it's like, oh, that's the story. That's what's going on.
But technically,
I see it now.
I mean, you could argue that's cheating because the movie should probably be able to tell the story on its own. But then again, sometimes some people, when they look at it from the director's or creator's perspectives, it might help them see it a different way.
Right.
So, I guess there's pros and cons to that. I decided to keep my dub over because I'm very confident with the voice stuff.
Oh yeah.
I think I've got a decent voice, and audio is definitely my realm. So. We haven't been introduced to Mr. Scratch yet. He could have different voices.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And,
why not?
And
spoiler alert. He's a demon.
If you haven't seen the movie yet, it's kind of a vague thing we'll go into a little bit. But
yeah, if you haven't seen the movie yet, like go watch that first.
Watch the movie first.
Watch it first and then come back.
Gotta release it first.
Yeah.
But this is one of those scenes that once again was a little accidental. I originally wanted to have me killing my wife, but you know people weren't able to do it, and I didn't want to push for it. Which is fine.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
What kind of works is, and Alex pointed this out, it makes it seem like I'm kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I could be alone. Like what's actually happening? When the voice comes on, it's me. Am I actually talking to anybody? Like, and I was like, you know, that does kind of work. And I mean, that's not exactly what I was going for, but I'm happy with it. For the most part.
Yeah, definitely.
And
like it could definitely be seen as like Elothan like taking over you and then further manifesting after having already taken out you, as it was in Sacrifice.
And Elothan, as we established, his primary means of coming through is by possessing people. And through people being killed, he gains strength. A weird mythology is being created. It's really interesting. And it's had its own life. Like, we're not even completely aware of it. One tactical little issue. I will confess this. And I'm going to try on any future projects to take my time more. But I get frustrated sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that.
I'm a perfectionist, and I try to do things too quickly. My girlfriend allowed me to use her very nice photography cameras she had from art school.
Mm.
So, which is why this film, most of it looks better.
Yeah.
But a lot of scenes are slightly out of focus, and that's totally intentional.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
No, half the time I didn't even know. It was almost by the end of filming, and I still didn't know how to turn the camera on. Remember that? Like, it was like on the last 8 film, jump, click, oh, yeah. Like, so, in all confession, half the time using it, I was just kind of messing around with it. But, we got a new knife set, like, a few months later for Christmas. But you know what? Hell, I've got a little knife.
Yeah.
You know, and once again, Alex was right. The character is thinking about killing himself there. Oh, and legitimate question, John. James told me this in his thoughts about the film. He thought that my acting wasn't bad, but it did go into campy territory sometimes.
I think, and I'm definitely also
in the camp of camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also definitely guilty of this. A lot of acting is in body expression, body language, and facial expression.
Definitely.
And I think, especially in the close-ups, we tend to get a little bit twitchy.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the nostrils and snarling and everything. And it's like I pointed this out. In the initial viewing.
Yeah.
Like, look at my nostrils in this scene. It's hilarious, dude. Check it out. It's like, I think if there's anything to be taken away from it, like just control the flair.
Control the flair. No, it's a good point. Because, like, I definitely think that you can easily overact even when you're trying to underact.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like, and I will be honest. I do think my acting, particularly in these scenes, probably could have been a little bit better, but I didn't want to overdo it. Like, because in all honesty, most of the people that watch these are my friends, and I don't want to make them uncomfortable. Because if I want to channel some anger, I probably can, but would it be too much? You know, would it be too much? So I don't know. But I thought it was okay considering I did most of these in like one take.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you know what? I have some free time. I need to flesh out this movie a little bit. Sure, I'll flesh out this story. And I have to say, I guess the arcs, as short as they are there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was very happy that in comparison to the last film, there is more of a recognizable story and 3-act structure. Though there's less dialogue, and I feel like the characters are less defined because they're more metaphorical, I guess.
Yeah, I think that also helps to add to like this neo-noir idea. It's more about like pushing ideas and moods and atmosphere.
Oh, and
rather than.
Don't get me wrong, man. I mean that's definitely what I was aiming for. I wanted to go for some weird, a more surrealist direction because I mean one of my favorite directors is David Lynch, and I mean I definitely want to channel. He's a very unconventional filmmaker, but very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
And he's more about the atmosphere and the imagery and conveying some abstract ideas well versus explaining a concrete story. And some people might argue that could be lazy, but if it's done in a really detailed, artistic way, it's a very unique form of filmmaking. I did it because being low budget and being able to cheat and mess up. Oh, yeah, that was totally a metaphor or a weird. It's weird, right? You know, so... You know, so maybe I use that as a little bit of a shield for the fact that I'm a very amateur filmmaker, but it's definitely there. And you know what's amazing? The movie's like almost halfway over.
Yeah, I know.
Like this thing flies. Like I mean, my biggest goal, John, is that if I'm making movies, I hope that they're not boring.
No.
You know, that's because I've always said I'm actually pretty forgiving when it comes to film. Like, you know, because especially when you make them, especially on no budget. It's hard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's hard.
Man.
Like, in all honesty, I mean, and we spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah, we spent just about the whole summer.
Yeah.
Or at least the last 2 months.
Yeah, and I did some stuff afterwards and a lot of time editing it and trying to put it together and looking through all the footage. And it still comes out with problems.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool to say you made it. And, and what I'm trying to go for is as long as it's not boring, you know.
No,
like,
no,
I think that's
not.
the worst thing, because if a movie is art or entertainment, it has to be engaging a
Right,
little bit,
right.
a little bit.
You have to be able to connect with it on some level.
And I also say, like, if my movies are awesomely bad or people can laugh at them a little bit, make fun of them, I would rather have that than be a mediocre, forgotten film.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at
exactly.
least the bad ones make an impression. Oh yeah, here are some audio issues came up. This is the one time I had a real issue, because we tried to use the mic, but the reason I ended up using a lot of stuff from the cameras was because the audio was about the same. It was a little bit more echoey, I think, in the mic sometimes. This is the one time I actually had to edit the audio from the mic. Well, one of the two scenes, and this was the correct scene. It is the correct audio, but it's just slightly off, and I couldn't get it to be any more aligned. And I think it's because it's almost like at a different decibel level. Like, you're seeing the lips move with the words, but it doesn't. It seems a bit off. Like, it's hard to explain. But one of the things too is that a couple of these scenes were made from different cuts.
Yeah,
Like there was one scene where I had to cut, because I kept most of that scene was the second one we filmed, but I really liked the exchange where you tried to hold on to the suitcase, so I kept that in. So that might have been another reason too.
I think it's. I think it would be good to point out that the beginning of the previous scene was one of the only scenes in the original cut that was in black and white. And that, like, everybody saw it, and it was like, oh, that looks
so much
that looks
better.
really good.
And I just did that once again to be artsy and weird for no particular reason. It was like, and everyone was like, literally everyone was like, Joe, really, what are you doing? Make the whole thing black and white. It's much better.
Yeah.
And I will be honest, I was really worried about this scene. I actually thought this was going to be the worst part, because I was worried about the lighting. But when you actually watch it, especially on a big screen, it actually doesn't look that bad.
Oh, that's good.
I was surprised. It actually looks worse watching here on the computer, which we're doing. That actually kind of surprised me. Yeah, this scene was once again, we wanted to have slightly better lights, but the thing was, we were doing it down in the storage area, and there was an outlet, but we saw it was just kind of dangling there and didn't look very safe, and I think we thought it might spark or something. So that was the main reason why. But one thing that I also was very happy about was the gun caps, the red gun caps.
Yeah.
Are mostly hidden, actually. You guys did a good job of being aware of that. But yeah, we kill Nick's character in this scene, and I almost was half tempted to keep in the original cut, which might make it into the bloopers, where he right when we were about to kill him and we're moving forward, and Nick's like, no, like hanging out. I'm like, and I almost would have kept that in, but I think they were like literally right after they said, okay, we're done. So I just cut and had like bang bang. And I had more fun with sound design this time. Like, I used sound effects more.
Oh yeah.
And I used soundtrack stuff more. Most of it was stock stuff that I used from my channel, but
and the sounds, like, they
ambient sounds.
They sounded a lot more natural with the visuals. They sounded a lot more like they went with it.
Yeah, like the gun effect sounds that we had particularly didn't sound too over the top.
They didn't.
At the very least, they were like, okay, that's obviously an effect, but it doesn't sound like cartoony.
Right.
Not overly so, I think.
And I think that was my biggest technical hang-up on Sacrifice.
Really?
Was the gunshot at the very, very end. It just sounded so cut and paste.
Well, that's because there was... I think that was because there was no... well, there weren't really any established real guns, because I didn't have any.
Yeah.
And the one gun I had looked like a weird alien one, so it was that the sound he would make. But then again, I guess even though it is technically a DS9 blaster pistol, would people have gotten that? And that was just all on the cuff, lazy filmmaking.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird. It's an unpainted Star Trek phaser, and people will get it, right? And they're like, what? Yeah, sure that's a device. Sure that's a demonic artifact. But yeah, like, I don't know. Definitely a lot of you pacing, and I like the overdramatic shift here coming up when the knock comes.
I definitely like the the scaling
Yeah.
in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell, like it's not that I'm moving back in space and becoming smaller, but
Mm-hmm.
like the
area you're in just looks like it's gradually getting smaller.
yeah, yeah,
of the tilt.
the perspective and everything. It's
The audio here was a really echoey because it was the one night
Yeah.
Nick wasn't there because he was
Yeah.
primarily an audio guy. But it actually was okay. It sounded kind of cool. People liked it. People actually liked it, and I was cool with that. And Will, Will's character was supposed to be in this a bit more, and there was supposed to be a bit of a twist with him.
yeah.
Like where I was gonna have him basically, I was gonna have him kill Mr. Scratch, and it was gonna turn out that you guys would kind of go your separate ways, and there was gonna be an earlier scene at the beginning of the film with Jesse as a cop that gets killed, and then there was gonna be a twist that Will would have helped you out
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a mystery. Why is he doing this? And at this point, it's just afraid. And to be honest, I guess if you're not paying much attention, you might not guess that it's Will's character. So that's one thing that's kept vague. But I mean, I get that is technically him. Yeah, that's when the film, much like Sacrifice, takes a
little
bit of a different direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Mostly, it progresses the same way, but a few different plot elements.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like some of these transitions. I think Will's acting for the little bit that you can see and hear is pretty good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you guys did this scene a couple times, and there were a couple more takes, but I tried to use the one I thought was the one that flowed the best. I did reuse the same shot again, but I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
like,
fine.
We're back. And then here comes the great scene, which is the recurring sub-elements that my movie is essentially a porno without the sex scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a...
Is this the shirtless scene?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it is.
And honestly, I have two scenes with... one with him with the shirt on. I'm like, you know what? Adds to the weirdness. Alex was cool with it. Fine. Why not?
Yeah, dude.
And
It definitely...
And I like the mystery to it. Like, we're building that up. And, of course, Ja, the great actor.
Yeah.
Thug One. By the way, he really enjoyed the scenes he was in. He was like, I liked it.
Yeah, man.
And...
Oh, the tracking shot, dude.
Probably my favorite sequence, because
the most...
the hardest...
Yes,
one
the
to
most technically difficult shot in the entirety of this movie.
And I will admit, yes, I use more footage that would be realistic compared to how long the hallway was, but no, I'm using as much of that as I can because that looked cool as hell, and we did a lot of walking, and you and Nick were stumbling behind yourselves, falling, trying to...
we had a few takes from this one.
There were 5 takes.
Were there 5 takes
of this thing?
Oh, man.
This is probably the one we shot the most. And we played with people, like originally I was in front, but they're like, no, you want to move. And there's this subtle shot, you can kind of see it, but it's coming up where Will and James, they switch places. Oh, here we go. Like, I just love the way this all looks. The lighting's good, the framing's good. See that? They subtly switch places behind me. I'm like, hey. And there was, and that's probably the best lit shot in the movie. And if you look carefully, you can kind of see the boom mic behind there.
I think it's a lot better in black and white because it just kind of blends in.
Yeah, you can't, unless you really are looking at it, you can't really tell exactly what it is. But that looks great. There was a bit more of that conversation that got cut out due to some sound issue, but not much. Most of it was kept intact. And the effects for the punches, I found some decent ones, and I lowered the volume enough that it doesn't sound too cartoony. And Will, of course, is smiling a little bit on his death. Have to do this.
Yeah, I think Will's definitely getting better as an actor.
Oh, definitely. No, I hope he keeps coming back for more because he is good, actually.
Yeah.
He doesn't oversell anything.
Yeah, which is like really weird because
the poster.
yeah. Because like in Sacrifice, there was that one scene where he just couldn't keep it together for like four or 5 takes.
Yeah.
And like,
you weren't there for the shots in the car, but we had most of our bloopers were from the car stuff. And, No, Will had more focus this time, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that was definitely good.
Helped out a lot too, for sure. You don't forget the suitcases there. And Nick was really concerned that this last shot wouldn't be kept in because it's the only take we had of it, which is the long walk down the hallway.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You better not have messed up." And for a second, I couldn't find it because we recorded with different cameras, and some of the files are hidden somewhere. So there was a point where like Nick's death and some of these hallway scenes, I was like, "Where are they?
Where'd they go?"
And I had to do some hunting to figure out where they were. And this is actually partially where the ending got changed because
was
of a mess up we both didn't catch.
Yeah,
which is it's fine. We forget our own script sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, that we liked the fact you accidentally drop it, but we worked it in because it makes you seem like an everyman, and then you kill Will, which changes the narrative of the movie, but it's okay because he couldn't make it for the final fight scene.
Yeah.
And then I added this because
I really like that.
I thought
actually,
it was
cool. I think that works.
And
it definitely helps to cement
what's happening.
That this is coming to a close. It
Yeah.
also helps to kind of reinforce like the whole paranormal aspect of it.
And here, speaking of supernatural elements, we're coming into my favorite edited portion of the movie. This is the one that I spent the most time editing to make this work. And I this and the hallway scene are my two favorite parts. I think that I was going to think they were going to be repetitive, but the build up to this is pretty good, and I really think it works. I spent the most time putting this together. I think this is like 2 or 3 separate takes that I had to mix and match together. And got the build up.
Yeah, man.
I think Alex definitely sells some of the creepiness.
Oh yeah.
And that over the shoulder, I think, was pretty good. I'm glad we decided to go that direction. How do you feel about this interaction? You and Alex have pretty good chemistry, I think.
Yeah. I do really enjoy working with them, like doing the whole movies and everything. And like, I know it's like a joke between all of us that there's some sexual tension between the two of us.
These movies have
all of the characters, but I think it definitely
it kind of adds.
Yeah, I think it's a good tension.
I mean, I don't know if there's something subconsciously with my films, but maybe there is. But they're no joke. There is a little bit of almost a sexual tension in some of these scenes. Maybe it's just one way you can perceive it, but I think it's just that you guys are okay with. You're both very comfortable with yourselves in that sense, so you don't mind making it seem a bit more uncomfortable. But because you're both cool with each other, I think it sells the characters a bit more. And that was almost a mess up for Alex, but we managed to make it work.
Yeah.
Alex, when he was talking, he said that he could enunciate a bit more. I mean, that's the only thing I could say that would maybe sell his performance a bit better is just because the audio was kind of crappy, because all the ambient noise in the laundry room. But he went for a creepy vibe rather than, I guess, a more domineering one. But I thought it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Actually. Like I'll admit, the ending, Alex, took control of, but we made it work. And I thought that actually surprisingly worked well for cutting out the gunshots.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't damage it. And that
yeah.
I love that.
Boom,
boom, boom.
If you looked real closely when he tossed the gun behind him, it just kind of shattered.
Yes, he did break the prop.
So it wasn't until the very end of the night shooting that I was able to get it back like together.
Oh yeah.
So that was the only take that we had for that shot.
Because he broke the gun after that point. But I wanted to use it.
Yeah, and it was a really good take.
It was. And and Alex says it's not a film unless he breaks something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. First the screen door or the glass door, sliding door.
My glass door he did break. It's okay, but yeah, he that was pure rage. He actually did break the door.
Yeah.
Jesse, and this one it wasn't as big of a deal. It's a little prop gun.
Yeah, it was like $10.
Yeah, but that's fine. You're gonna experience these things. I'm just glad it wasn't a door lock.
Yeah.
Jay pointed out something too. James was asking me what was in the suitcase, and I know what's in the suitcase, but I like leaving it open to interpretation, and that is obviously homage to Pulp Fiction. I use that MacGuffin, but I like it. I do know what's in. Do you want to know what's in, or should I say it, or could you guess?
I think wasn't there an on-set joke about it being like a teddy bear? or something like that.
Originally, it was supposed to be a like something from Mr. Scratch's childhood, and when you opened up the case and he saw there was nothing in it, he was supposed to go into a rage. In this one, he kept cool, and basically it kind of comes around making it seem like it was nihilistic, and the whole affair was for nothing, the death was for nothing, because he just gave him the case anyway.
Right.
Implying that, I guess, more than just being a mob boss, he has a supernatural element getting involved and then leaving. As Lotham does, I guess. So
I mean, the dude took 2 bullets to the dome, so like
with nothing, whether he made them disappear or
it was
nothing.
Just didn't matter, man.
So whatever it is, he wasn't too concerned with it, and I did like these final shots. And once again, it was symmetrical. Same position, and that's one thing I want to ask you about, because the way the film turned out, it was actually a darker ending, but Alex thought it worked better because it fit with the tone of the movie.
Right.
Which I was like, that wasn't intentional, but once again, thematically, it kind of works, I think.
And I think it kind of helps that we shot the very opening scene at the bathroom sink right after we shot the ending scene.
That's true. So we kind of knew what...
Same night, we knew exactly what would happen, and we kind of ran with that, like... that tone, that gut feeling, the visceral, like
very visceral.
Yeah, man.
The visceral trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh man, would you say Nick was a bad friend?
Yeah,
I thought he was alright. He didn't sell you out.
Yeah, he was pretty alright.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It always feels good to be able to slap other people's names on my project.
Yeah, definitely. Thug 1, bless.
Getting John in one of the movies is tough, but damn it, you're getting me more. Yeah. The only defined character is the most supernatural one. Actually. And, the movie's over now.
Yeah.
So totally over. Everything else is kind of an extra, but I'll admit I was feeling perhaps just a bit egotistical, perhaps. But I was like, what the heck? I'll add on a
post-credit scene.
I'll add on a post-credit scene because, and the reason I did that was partially because I did forget to make the little references to Sacrifice. So I'm like, wait, they are connected. How am I going to connect them? Well, it's a hint for my possible next project. I decided to get very meta. Very, very meta. And this was a complete surprise to everybody. And I was surprised it went over pretty well.
When this came on, I was like, whoa, a post-credit scene? And I heard the opening riff to the beginning of the Sacrifice movie. And I'm like, were you watching Sacrifice? And it came up, and I'm like, dude, okay, I see. Getting a little bit of tie-in right now.
Yeah, a little bit of tie-in, because I was like, wait, I forgot to tie them in subtly, so let me just do it more
overtly
on purpose. Because my next project, hopefully, is something that's going to be kind of fun, and maybe poking fun at myself a little bit, but potentially our most ambitious project. I mean, like, from a writing standpoint, and James actually had to come up with it, but this is a bit more of a hint of future things, but also, I will admit, for some reason... the whole file here got corrupted.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
But no one said they minded. Like, it actually adds to the what I'm going for.
Yeah, we
what is going on here? Like, it is an accident.
We didn't say anything the first time the corruption.
Yeah, you're like, wait, is this
happened?
Is this a thing? Like, is it an effect? Like, I think someone said I like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, okay, that once again something accidental. and I was like, all right. And this is supposed to be, obviously, I guess, a note that someone left for me. Maybe a Lotham. But maybe I'm not aware of it. And I'm like, what's going to happen next? And, I think if people aren't confused by the end of the movie, if they stay to the end, they're going to be like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. Or they'll like, check how much time is left in the video.
Huh? Like, did he just...
This is the end of the credits. The production name came up. What else is there for another 4 minutes?
I think it was 2. I think it was 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes. And then it's over.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. So, I mean, any final thoughts about it, man? We can go on for a few more minutes. I mean, it's fine.
I'm definitely really excited for what's gonna happen in the future, I think that's the best part about, like, not being a writer.
Okay.
Is showing up and not knowing what's going on. And you're like just as surprised as everybody else in the room, except for the writer.
Yeah.
And you're also just as surprised as everybody else in the audience for the first viewing.
I'll admit I was kind of maybe being. I'll admit I have. I'm perhaps a bit too hard on myself sometimes. I was kind of a sacrifice too, but with this one, I will admit I was like, man, it sucks. Like, and everyone I think was pretty honest that they thought it actually was better.
Yeah. This was 100 times better than Sacrifice.
I'll take your word for it. And the reason I think I can trust your opinions more is because no single person was involved in every aspect of this movie this time. Like, I mean, literally everybody here, like you said, they showed up for their scenes, and I had everybody comment different nights, so nobody knew completely what to expect.
Right.
Nobody saw the whole, evidence of the whole product. So I think that was kind of fun showing it off to people. But yeah, I enjoyed making this one. I think it was a bit tougher. But yeah, I'm glad that you helped out, man. And did you enjoy your stint as the co-director?
Yeah, man, dude. If you need any help for Demon Chair,
no, oh my God,
I'm directing with.
Dude, if you want to take the reins on directing Demon Chair, I'm fine with that.
Oh, bud. All right.
if you can show up for the main filming days that I'm gonna do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I probably can.
Yeah, I mean, no, and really, honestly, man, I'm hoping that gets made at some point, maybe this coming summer, because I know that's when you're most available. So I would like you involved in the next project if you're available.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and I think that will theoretically close out the Sacrifice trilogy, and
we'll be on to greater things.
Hopefully, there is talk of maybe a werewolf movie at some point down the line, but
we might be able to get some teasers in there.
Some teasers.
For during Demon Chair, we could film small portions of it.
Maybe we could
have that in on the background.
Maybe, who knows? But that one will hopefully be in a time when we have more money. Because I don't have to invest more money in that. All right, dude. Well, I'm going to conclude this, and are you going to?
Yes, I am also going to conclude this.
All right, guys. Well, then that is the ending of the director's commentary for Bad Places. Thanks for watching again.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.